I lo. Hmm. Yes. Oh, come on. Yes. Can you hear me loud and clear? Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Please put it in the chat box if you are able to hear me. Can you hear me? Can you see me loud and clear? Hello, 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 hello. Yes. Okay, nice. Nice, 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 nice. We will start in 4 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for joining in on time. Echoing as well. Anybody able to hear the echo? Can others confirm, please? Is my voice echoing? Okay, just give me a minute. It's clear, right? No echo for anybody. Okay, great. Thank you for the confirmation. We will start pretty soon. Cool. First of all, I would like to uh, congratulate those who have done their, what I say, assignment, right? Thank you for sharing it in the community. It means a lot. You are inspiring a lot of other people to do this in the coming sessions as well. Thank you for doing that. You will definitely learn a lot. Plus, you are also inspiring others to take this step further and do their practice and share it in the community, right? So that's a great thing from all of you who have done it. And for those of you who have not done it, please get inspired. Please do practice and share it in the community. I know, I know a lot of you would have done practice but have not shared in the community. Please do so because that will inspire others, right? So please keep sharing in the community, and that's how we will be able to build and learn together. Awesome. So during the last session, we did what is it? LinkedIn registration clone, right? Of course, it's not like complete clone of what LinkedIn is or what LinkedIn has, but we have got close to it. We have understood how grouping works, how what I say, the column layout works, how the row layout works, and also how align to parent works, right? Are we clear on that? Are we ready to move on to the next session? Hello, everybody. Are we ready to move on? I know it's a bit hard when you make YouTube Live full screen and then you have to come to type in something. We are still figuring out what could we do to make this experience better. Me and my team were testing it out today, and we understood the pain point from your side where you would have done the YouTube Live full screen, and then if you have to type, you have to make it, what to say, go to the normal view and then type out and stuff like that. We understand. We are working on that. Give us a couple of days. We will figure something out for all of you to make this experience even better. Awesome. So I asked a question in the community, right? Do you all know how emails in Gmail are displayed, or how items in Amazon are displayed, or how properties, right, in Airbnb are displayed, or food items in Zomato, Swiggy are displayed, right? And that's the question we are going to answer today. Okay, and let's try to replicate one of the applications. Since we have started with LinkedIn registration clone, can we go ahead and create a clone of Twitter as an application as we move on and practice different sections of web application development? Is everybody good with that? Can we clone LinkedIn as application so that we just don't learn the concepts, but we also learn where it is actually used in real-time applications? Yeah, I think that is a good idea, Samir. Thanks for sharing that. We will think about that, and we'll also do a trial from our side and we'll get that done. Thank you for that. Okay, so are we good? If all of you are okay with us cloning LinkedIn as an application, please put +1 in the chat box so that we can go with that, right? Let's understand how a social platform like LinkedIn is built. Okay, and that's very relevant to what we are covering today, which is list of social media posts, right? So are we good with cloning LinkedIn for our understanding? Last one from Vinay. Yes, come on. For time being, I think you can also do one thing. If you have joined from your laptop, right? Uh, Maybe you can join from your mobile also, right? And from your mobile, you can type in your responses. I'm not sure if that's asking too much from my side, but if that helps, please try it out for today, and we'll see what can be done from the next session onwards, right? So good. Let's go ahead with LinkedIn clone. So for that, let me open up LinkedIn. I hope I'm logged in. Yes. Okay. So let's first create this particular section here. Okay, not with media, events, and this thing, just to create a post, right? So when I click on this, a pop-up is opening. Let's not worry about the pop-up for now. Let's create it in the input box itself, multi-line input box. Okay. And for that, I will create a page called feed. Okay. And let's make this as let me add a group, right? And of course, let's make this as a column layout because now we know the layout. So we should not be working with fixed layout anymore, right? And this I'll call it as main. Okay. And we can see that we have some left menu over here. And that's why I leave some 200 or 250 on the left side. Okay. And for that, I'm going to add the margin here, right? Not the padding, margin. Okay. And I will open this up so that it takes the entire space available. Okay. Now I'll add one more group within this group. Okay. And this we can call it as create post. Okay. Do not worry about how this post creation looks like as of now, right? That's completely fine. And we will add multi-line input box over here. Okay. And I'm going to make this as roundness 30, right? And we'll also decrease the height from 100 to, let's say, 45. Okay. Or yeah, 45 is okay. And we can expand this, right? So I'll make this as 250 minimum width. Now, I hope all of you understand what is minimum width, maximum width, min height, max height, right? All of that we have covered in the last session. For those of you who didn't attend the last session or were not able to watch the recording, please go and watch that. right? It is very, very important. And let me make this as just 30. I think that should be sufficient. Why is that not happening? Okay, let's not worry about it. Okay, and what it says is start a post. Start a post. And of course, they have made it as black color, so placeholder is also black in their case. Let's make it that way. Let's make this as 18 and leave it to that. Okay, and we can have a button. Okay, of course, they don't have a button here because they are not posting from here, but let's add a button. Okay, and that should be within this particular group. I'm just dragging it and dropping it here and post. Okay, let's go within this group and let's add gap spacing of 10 and this particular button onto the right side. Okay. The reason why I'm not doing it on a pop-up like we have on LinkedIn is because we have still not understood what is a pop-up, right? So ignore it for now. We are creating the post from here. The important thing here is not about how to create the post or what is required to create a post, but what comes after this, right? So let's concentrate on that more. Okay, and because we have to create the post, I mean to create the data type, we have to create a data type for saving the post, and that's what we are creating here. So I'm going to data type, okay, data here, and then data types, and I'm going to create a post, right? And once we create a data type called post, we need to create new fields. Okay, if you remember during the first session, we created, I mean, the bubble already had user as a data type, and we created a name and a city fields inside it, right? Likewise, we'll go to post and we will create post text as a field, which is of type text. Okay, any data type that you create in bubble has creator by default, okay, which records who is the creator of this particular record. It has modified date, it has created date. Okay, it also has slug. We will cover what is slug when we reach that. Okay, for now we are just creating post text here. Okay, so when we click on post, we need to add the workflow so that we can save whatever post user created into the database, right? So the way we do that is when the person clicks on post, okay, we add a workflow, and here, okay, if you remember last time we had done register, sign the user up, log the user in, and so on and so forth. This time, because we are creating a new record apart from user, right, we need to go here and say create a new thing, right? And now we have to select what is the new thing that we want to create in the database, right? We have created just post apart from user, right? And that's why we have to select post. Now within post, we have created a field called post text, right? And that is coming from multi-line input startup posts value. It's much similar to what we saw during the session one, where we created users into the database. But for users, we had signed the user up. Okay, specifically meant only to create user records. But for creating any other data types, we have to use this one, which is create a new thing, right? Which is in data, create a new thing. Okay. Now, once we create this, okay, this will be saved in the database. Let's quickly check if this is working fine. And for that, I'm going to log in as one of the users. Okay, so let me log in as abcd@7.com and just a minute. So let me get that over here. Okay, it's on the top. So let me first add some padding on the top, that is in the group here. Okay, let me add some padding on the top, let's say 30. Okay, so it's not sticking on the top like this, it comes slightly below. This is a sample post, right? And we'll click on this post. Let's see if it is added in the database, right? All posts. So you can see that this has got created now, right? And it is created at 7:10. Okay. Following it so far? I hope the speed is okay. Is the speed okay, everyone? Have you followed it so far? Okay. One person confirmed. I would assume the same thing with others. I'll quickly do a couple of changes because this is sticking to the left side, and that's why I would add a padding onto the left side. Sorry, right side. Okay, of 20. Now here, whether you add padding or margin doesn't matter because we just need a space on the right side. Okay. One more thing, which is very, very important, is once we create the post, we want this to be cleaned off, right? We do not want that to be staying here after the post is already added to the database. Okay. So I'll go to appearance. Okay. Edit workflow. And we have reset relevant inputs, right? It is already recommended by Bubble because it understands when you create a new record, we might want to reset the inputs, right? So let's quickly check if this is working fine. So start a post, right? This is my second post on LinkedIn app, right? So I'll click on this one and you can quickly check that this has got cleaned. Okay, and let's see in the database if this is already created, and that has got created. Okay, so what I'll do is I will share the link of our register page. Yeah, I think we had added this workflow here. Yeah, so I'll share the link of this particular page. I want all of you, right, to go to the page and log in, right? And as soon as you log in, we will send you to the navigation page. I mean, we will send you to the page using the navigation method. Do not worry about it as of now. We want you to go to feed. I'll copy the same thing and do the same thing in the registration as well, right? So that whether you log in or register, you will be sent to feed page where you can create your post, right? So I'm adding the link of this particular page in the chat box. Okay, for those of you who have already registered, please log in. For those of you who have not registered during our session one, please register. Once you're done, you'll be taken to feed page where you can create your first post. Okay, please do that because what we are going to cover next requires a few posts to be created. Okay, so please do that. Let's quickly check if we are getting posts here. It might take a few minutes for you to register or log in. Okay, yes, we can see a couple of posts coming in. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Hemant. More. Can we see some more? Thank you, Syed. Thank you, Anirban. Let's wait for a few more seconds. Let's hope that we will have more posts coming in. And for those of you who have already created, you can create multiple if you wish to. Okay, we have only this much, which is okay, right? So thank you, Smita, and thank you, Syed, for one more. And we have Datta. Thank you for that. Oh, don't create empty ones, please. Let me delete this. Okay, great. So we have a few posts. Now, how are we going to show these posts on the front end, right? These are all, this is nothing but list of things, right? These are list of posts in this case. Okay, likewise, you can see emails. Okay, when we talk about Gmail, we have list of emails being shown, right? When you go to social platforms, those are list of posts being shown. If you go to calendar, then it will be list of events, list of meetings, right? Any application that you can think of are mainly list of things, right? Can we take about 2 minutes to think of what are the things that we keep seeing, which is list of things? In WhatsApp, we can see list of messages, right? So likewise, what are the list of things that we keep seeing on a daily basis in applications? What are the things that we keep seeing? Food, Amazon product list, yes. Zomato food list, that's right. Flights, movies, yes. What else? What else? What else? News items. If we are talking about TV, then it is list of channels, right? Stocks, hotel booking, movies, tickets, flights, yes, right? What are this? List of elements, right? So think of it. Most of the things are list of things, right? List of hotels, list of flights, list of tickets, right? List of movies. If we go to YouTube, then we are talking about list of channels. And if we go within channel, then it is list of videos, right? Everything is list of things, right? And list of similar items, right? If you go to Airbnb, you see list of properties being shown. It will not be like one hotel and then one food item and one something else, right? It will be of the same type. If you go to Gmail, you will see list of emails being shown, right? You will not see one email and then one calendar invite and one something else and so on and so forth. All of that will be list of emails, right? Likewise, when you want to show list of things, okay, we have something called repeating group. Okay, so let me add this repeating group over here. Okay, and I'll tell you why repeating group is used and how do we build a repeating group. Okay, whenever you want to display a list of items, you use repeating group. Okay, as the name suggests, okay, during the last session we understood what is group. Repeating group means you are repeating the group multiple times, and each group belongs to a particular item. Okay, let's understand this. Now, type of content, I'm going to select post. Okay, data source will be whenever you want to fetch the data from database, right? Whenever you want to fetch the data from database, we have to use do a search for, right? This is the way we will be able to do search from the database. Okay. Now again, it will ask you what is the type. Select post, right? We selected a post here and then close. So what we are saying in this particular repeating group post is type of content is post and data source is do a search for post. Okay, that's all. We are not adding any constraint for now, right? And what this does, let me add style solid so we understand this better, right? So there are 4 rows added here in this repeating group. We have 1 column. Okay, and each of this cell in the repeating group belongs to a post. Okay, think of this as Google Sheets. Sheets.new, and consider this to be just 1 column sheet for now. Okay, ignore the B, C and all of this. Right, so let me just delete this. Think of it as just 1 column sheet. Okay, just like this. We have 4 rows in this particular case with 1 column. Okay, each of this cell belongs to 1 post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a group within this particular repeating group. Okay, type of content will be post, data source will be current cells post. Okay, so closely observe, I'm repeating this. We added a repeating group, okay, which is of type post. We did a search for post. We didn't add any constraint. We will come to this a bit later. Okay, and we said there are 4 rows in this particular repeating group. Okay, and then we had a group which is of type post. Data source is current cells post, because I mentioned in this repeating group each cell belongs to 1 post. Okay, now I'll go to add a text within the repeating group. Okay, within the group that we have added, and this text will be parent groups post text. Okay, I'll repeat the process again. We added a repeating group which is of type post. Data source, do a search for post, okay, without any constraint. Okay, and we've added 4 rows, 1 column, and within which we added a group, okay, which is of type post. Data source is current cells post because each cell belongs to a post. Okay, and I've added a text box inside this particular group, and that text is parent groups post text. Okay, let's preview this and see what are we able to see on the front. Can we see the first 4 posts that we created? Yep. Let's go to the database. We've got 15 so far. That's nice. Thank you, everyone. So we have got 4 posts here, the first 4, and that is being displayed here, right? And it is displaying us only 4 because we mentioned this particular repeating group is of 4 rows. Now, if I make it a 6, okay, if I make it a 6, what will happen? We will be able to see 6 posts being shown here, right? This is nothing but list of posts Let's go to LinkedIn for a moment, right? And what are this? This is one post, right? This is second post. This is third post, right? Each one is one single post. And that's precisely what we did over here. Of course, we don't have the image, we don't have the video, and so on and so forth. But each cell is a post, right? Let's refine this a bit further. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to put set fit number of rows, okay, which is by default added. I'm going to uncheck this. And the moment I uncheck, it is asking what is the minimum height of each row, right? So in this case, it comes as 56. I'm not sure why, but Bubble has given minimum height as 56. We can change this if needed, right? So let's make it as 35. Okay. And go to layout, and we have this min height, min width as 140, fit width to content. I'll remove this. Okay. So it goes until the end. We have added the padding of 20 here, and that's why we have space here. Okay. Likewise, we'll go to this particular group. Okay. Fit width to content is not there, so that will also expand until the end. Let's just go to this group and add some spacing so that this and this one is not sticking to each other. I'll add 30. Okay. Now, from this group, if you closely observe, each of the post has some space added. Okay. So we are next going to add the space. And for that, group post. Okay. Each post is this is there in this group. So I'm going to add margin. Okay. We can add bottom margin, or if required, we can split it and say 5 here and 5 here. Okay. And to display this properly, let's go here, and we can see that this is slightly grayish while the post is in white. So I'm going to feed page. I'll go to appearance. I'll change this flat color is FF, which is white. I'm going to change this to EB, EB, EB. Okay, I know that EB is light grayish, and that's why I've changed it. And I'll go to this particular group, which is each post. I'll change the background color to flat, and now this becomes white, right? We can also see that there is some slight round edge here for each post. So I'm going to make this roundness as 5. Okay, let's quickly check if this is already looking better. Now these lines are coming, which is not good. So let's remove those lines, which I added, okay, for our understanding. So here, the separators, right? The separators, I'm going to remove this. Okay, now let's see how is this looking. Okay, now within this white space, they have some padding added. So nothing is at the border. Okay, we will do the same thing. We'll go to the group. We'll go to layout, add some padding of 10, 10, 10, and 10. Let's quickly check. Is this already looking nicer? Of course, we have not added image. We have not added a lot of other things, and that's why it's looking plain. But is this already looking nicer than when we started? It's available. All of it is available now, right? You can see here. Yeah. So we have 15 posts, and we have all the 15. So we can see here. Hi, I posted, but my post was not available, and that is also available over here. Yep. Can we make it even better? Can we make this even better? So we'll try to get this functionality here, like an image of the user, the name. Of course, we don't have the speciality and all of that, but let's try to get the image and the name. Okay. So for that, we have to get our skills that we learned in the last session over here, grouping. Okay. So because we need a photo here and the name here, what should be the layout that we have to use here, everyone? What should be the layout? Is it row? Is it column? Is it aligned to parent? What is that we have to use if we have to get the image on the left and the name on the right side? Okay, we have got the right answer. And that means whatever we covered in the last session was useful. Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm adding a group here and let's call this as user. Right. And this particular group will be of row. Okay, as you rightly mentioned, I'll just make the minimum height as 20 because we don't need 40. And I'll go to group post, okay, which is this entire group. And let's add some spacing, let's say 5, not too much. Okay, now I'm going to add the image over here. It might come outside. I have to drag and drop it inside. So I'm dragging it and dropping it within this one. Okay, this group user is the creator of the post, and that's why type of content will be user. Data source will be parent group's post creator. Okay, parent group's posts creator. Now this particular image, dynamic image. So for that I have to create a data type here. Okay, so I'm going to user and I'm going to create, sorry, profile pic, and this is of type image. Okay, and I'm going to link that in the front end. Okay, so dynamic image, parent group's user, profile picture. Now, why parent group user? Because this particular group is the parent group, right? So for this particular element, this is the parent group, and parent group belongs to user, and that is its parent group's posts creator, right? So this is the post, this is the user group, and this is the parent group user's profile image. Now I'm going to add a text here, and this text will be parent group user's name. Okay, now let's increase the size of this image a bit, maybe 30. Okay, and let's add some spacing between the image and the text here so that it's not sticking to each other. And this is column gap, everyone, not row gap. Okay, now let's go to the front end. As you can expect, the images will not be shown because there is no image at all. And surprisingly, nobody's name is there because I believe we have not added anybody's name. Oh, we have name. Why is that not being shown? Okay, that's because of privacy rules. Okay, so there is something called privacy rules in Bubble. For now, I'm going to remove this privacy rules. If you have been following our 1000 days video series, you might already understand what is privacy rules. But for the context of what we are doing right now, in the cohort context, privacy rules is not covered. So I'm going to delete this privacy rules from here, and we can already see the names being displayed on the front end. Okay, we can see the name here, here, right? All of the names are being shown apart from this two, because I think when I registered myself, the name was not added. So let me add my name here. and that will also be shown. Okay, so the names are being shown, but there is no image because we have not added any image. Okay, so I will allow you to add image. If you want to, you can add the image. Okay, and let's go back to, or let me give it over here itself. Okay, I'm just going to give it over here just so that you can add your image. Picture uploader, I'm going to add it over here on the top, and I'll say upload your profile image. Of course, this has nothing to do with the LinkedIn thing. I just want to give a quick way for you to upload the image. And add workflow, data, make changes to thing, because here we are not creating the record. The record is already created. We have to make the change. And that's why we will use make changes to thing. And the thing that we want to change is current user. Okay. Current user refers to the present user who is using the app on the browser. So when I am using, I become the current user. When you are using on your browser, you become the current user, right? Each user, whenever they are using on their browser, they become the current user, right? So the thing to change is current user, and the field to change is profile image, and this is picture uploader, upload your profile pictures value. Okay, so you can just refresh this particular page and you can see option for you to upload the image, right? So let me just get it on the side and let me upload image. Likewise, all of you are free to do so if you are comfortable uploading your image. Just give me a minute. Uploading one of my images. Okay. So you can see that I've uploaded my image. I'll click on upload. And the moment I do that, my image is being shown here. Okay. Those of you who are comfortable, please do it. And for those of you who are not doing it, okay, let's see on what happened here. Is there, yeah. So for example, if you see here, okay, this person has not uploaded the image, and LinkedIn has its own way of showing what is it, icon, right, wherever image is not uploaded. And what we will do for that is I'll go to plugins, right? I'll add a plugin which is alpha bet profile images, right? This is Google's way of displaying profile images if you have not added profile image. Okay. Do not worry if you have not understood what is this plugins and all of that. I'm just adding it to make it look nicer. There is an element now added from this plugin, which is alphabet image. I'm going to add that in this particular group, right? And it asks for target text. I'll click on insert dynamic data. And because the parent group belongs to the user, I'm going to select parent group's user name. So what this particular plugin does is it will give us an image with the first character of the name. Okay. You put any text, it will give you an image for that. Right. So what we will do is we will go to this particular image of the user. We'll put the condition and we will say if parent group users profile pic is empty, then, okay, this is the way we add condition in Bubble, right? So I'll show you again. From appearance, we move to conditional, define another condition. And the condition is if parent group users profile pic is empty, then image source, right? Image source here is parent group user's profile picture. But what if parent group's user has not uploaded profile image? Then this will be alphabet image A current image. Okay, we will see what it shows and then I'll explain to you what has happened. Right? So you can see that Aditya has also uploaded an image and that is being shown. Hemant has not, Syed has not, right? And a lot of other people have not. And in that case, it will not show us blank. It will show us some representative of that user, right? So Hemant starts from H, and that's why we have a image with H. If you have closely observed, Google does this, right? Google does this whenever you have not uploaded profile image. It takes the first character of your name and shows an image with regards to that, right? And that's precisely what we have done. Does this look nicer now? Yeah, you can see Anirban has uploaded the image, right? You can see Manoj has uploaded. Does this look nicer, everyone? Are we getting closer to building a LinkedIn clone? Are you understanding how list of things are displayed in Amazon or Gmail or Airbnb, Zomato, Swiggy, right? Anything that you can think of are list of things. Have you started understanding how list of things are displayed? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, what we have seen is list of things being shown in just rows, right? Each row is one item of a list. Okay. But if you see Airbnb and all, so let's quickly go to Airbnb to see how it is being displayed. You can see that we have three items being shown in each row, right? Here also we have three. Here also we have three. So three items being shown in each row. How do we do this? Of course, I'm not going to create a Airbnb data type here, but let's do it for users, right? And for that, I'm going to add a new page and I'm going to call this as admin. Okay, click on create. Okay, so again, I'm going to add a group, right? Of course, we'll change this to column layout, and this group will be called main. Okay, we can add a padding of 20, 20, 20, and 20 so that it's not sticking. The content that we add within the group is not sticking to any of the corners. I'll open this up so it expands uh, based on the width of the page. And I'm going to add a repeating group within this group. And this time, type of content will be users. Data source will be do a search for user without any constant. Close this. Go to layout. Okay. Min width is 140. It has fit width to content. I'm going to remove this so it expands for the entire width. Now, can anybody tell me how can we have three rows of data, three columns of data? Sorry. How can we have three columns of data? It's pretty simple. The answer is on the screen right now. How can we have three columns of data being shown? Can anybody guess it? The answer is on the screen. So that's the next step. Adding the group into the RG is the next step. Okay. Right now, if I just remove this, you can see it says user item 1, user item 2, user item 3, user item 4. Okay. So there are 4 rows and each row belongs to one particular user. Now we want to convert this into 3 columns with 4 rows, let's say. Exactly. So all of you have got it, right? We just have to make the change. That is, make this as 3, and you can automatically see this is user item 1, user item 2, user item 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So now this becomes a spreadsheet of 4 cross 3 cells. Okay. And each cell belongs to a user. Now we can go to group, add a group here, right? So each cell becomes of type user. So type of content will be user, current cells user. Okay. So let me add an image here. Okay, which will be of user. And let me add a text here. Okay, which will be the user's name. So here this will be parent group users name, and the image is this one, which will be parent group users profile picture. Now let's make it slightly bigger so it looks nice. Okay, like we can see in Airbnb, right? Big image with the name added at the bottom. So I'm just going to change this width to, let's say, 300. Okay, and keep the aspect ratio fixed. So we have very big image. 300 is probably too much. So let's make it as 250. And let's bring this to center. And let's add some roundness of 20. Okay. We have added the name here. Let's get it to center as well. And of course, let's add some spacing in between the image and the text, because right now it is sticking to each other. Okay, so let's add 10 spacing. Let's see how is this looking in the first place. So I'm going to preview this. Okay. So can we see 3 columns and multiple rows? Okay, of course, we don't have these images added. Okay, and that's why it's blank. Okay. Now, let's quickly check this. Now it is showing 3, but if I zoom out, okay, that is if you have a wider screen, okay, then you can have 5 items being shown. If you zoom out even further, you may be able to see 6 of them. No? Okay. 5 is the maximum that they have set, right? If you have wider screen than that, then you will have space on both the sides. Okay. So why is the Google Like plugin not working here? Because we have not implemented it here, right? We implemented it only on that particular page, right? So here we have not implemented it, and that's why it's not being shown. Okay. Here you can see 5 items being shown when we zoom out. Okay, that means if you have a wider screen, then it will show you 5 items. Let's zoom in a bit. I'll zoom in even further, even further, even further. Okay. So whenever I have smaller screen, I can see only 2 items. Okay. If I zoom in even further, okay, I can see just 1 item. Okay. Or rather, I'll show you in a better way. There is a responsive viewer Chrome extension, which allows you to see the same screen on different devices or different screen sizes, right? So if you open Airbnb on Galaxy S9, you can see just 1 item. Like any mobile phone, you can see just 1 item in one row, right? And all the items will be stacked one below the other. But the same page, when you open on a slightly larger screen, you can see 2 items. The same page, when opened on a slightly even larger screen, right, which is 1024 pixel width, you can see 3 items. And the same screen, right? Let's have a bigger screen added, or they have a desktop view here. So let's check that. But they have not added anything. Let's add that. I think you can add it from here. Workspace, no. Just a minute. We can add the device. Okay, let's remove this device, the last one, and change settings width to, let's say, 1400. Hopefully this should be enough. Yeah, so you can see 4 items being shown, right? So for those of you who are wondering what is this is a Chrome extension called responsive viewer, okay, which allows you to see different screen sizes of the same page, right? So here we have 4 items being shown because the screen width is 1400 pixels. Here we are able to see 3 items because the screen size is 1024. And here we can see 2 of them because the screen size is 688. And on mobile screens, we can see just 1 item in each row. Okay. Now let's try to understand how do we build something like this? Because what we have done right now is irrespective of the screen size. Okay. We will just see 3 items. Yeah. So if you go to responsive, you can see that we have 3 items. I'll make it smaller, 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 and it will overlap on one top of the other. And that's not what we want. We want to build responsive apps. So let's see how do we do that, right? We have seen this in terms of grouping in the last session. And today we are going to cover how do we make this responsive while we are using repeating group. Okay. And the way we do that is by not defining set number of rows and columns. Okay. We will remove this. We will remove this. Okay. And what we will tell is minimum height of row. Okay. Because we know that what is the design that we are coming up with. So min height of row can be, let's say, 200. Min width of column can be, let's say, 300. So what we're telling is each cell should be of minimum 200 by 300. Okay, so you can see that this is one cell, this is second cell, this is third cell. Okay. Now if we go to responsive, we can see 3 of them here. I'm going to reduce the width, right? So you can see the page width is 945 here. Okay. And the moment it goes below a certain limit, the moment it goes below 940, only 2 is being shown, right? The moment it goes below 640, only 1 is being shown. Okay. let's quickly check this particular page with responsive viewer. Okay, so I am clicking on this one. Are we able to see one item in one row on mobile phones, just like we saw for Airbnb? Are we able to see that? Just one item every row. Yeah. Can we see two items every row on slightly larger screen? Can we see three items every row on even bigger screens? And can we see four items on bigger screens? So with this setup, what we have done is we have built a responsive repeating group, okay, so that it adjusts based on the screen size while it still displays every single record, right? So here we have the last record as Debraj, no, Samir. Okay, even on a mobile screen, if you scroll down, 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 right, you can see Samir Parikh being shown here. Yeah, you can add any mobile screen size, like, right? So you can set it from here. Isn't this great? Do you think it's simple? Do you think this is simple? Isn't it simple, everyone? Yes, Aditya, we did define the minimum limits of individual block, right? So if you go to repeating group, minimum height of row and minimum width of column, right? So again, it's the same thing like we do in Google Sheets, right? You set the height of a row and that gets adjusted for the entire row. Okay, likewise, you adjust the width of the column and that gets adjusted for the entire column. Okay, and because we are in a repeating group format, which is every cell is of same type, okay, whenever you set the minimum height and minimum width, it applies to every single cell of that particular repeating group. Okay, and that's why if you see here, every cell looks the same, right? Same width, same format, same font, and all of that. Okay, with the dynamic data being displayed. So can you now recall list of things being shown? Okay, think about Gmail. How many columns do we have in Gmail? How many columns do we have in Gmail? Come on, come on, come on. How many columns do we have in Gmail? Hello, everyone. Three columns? Are you sure? Okay, let me clarify this, right? When we talk about columns, okay, especially for list of items, okay, your repeating group, each column, okay, should be of the same type. So in this case, right, we have 3 items being shown. Let's do one thing. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll tell you what is column. When I spoke about column, what does that mean? I'm going to create a clone of admin page. Okay, and we will see what is that. Right, so I'm going to create a new page and I'm going to say this is user list. I'm going to just clone the admin page, right? So it will create a copy of the admin page. Now I'm going to change the repeating group. Minimum height of row as 200, minimum width of column is 300. I'll just change this to one column. Okay, so I'm just going to change each like single column repeating group. Okay, which means every row is one record. Okay, now I'll change the layout of the group user from column to row. Right, image I'll change from 250 to 35, so it becomes a smaller image, and we have the name added here. Let me add one more text element, and this time instead of name we will make it as email. I will add one more text, and this time it will be creation date. Okay, we'll also go ahead and format this slightly to this format. Okay, I'm selecting this particular text box, and this is name. So I'm going to just give a sample listing so we can see how it looks. Likewise, I'm going to give a sample here, abcd@7.com. I'm going to say this is Feb 4, 2025. And because these are sticking to each other, let's just add some column gap of, let's say, 20. Okay, so what did I do? I changed the repeating group, okay, which was multi-column, multi-row, to single column, multiple rows. Okay, and we will also change the minimum height of the row from 200 to, let's say, 45. Right, so each row is of just 45 height, and we can add some margins top and bottom, let's say, and we can also add some padding of 5 and 5. Okay, and I'll just quickly add some background color to this, right, like we did last time. EV. Okay, so we know that each box that we can see now belongs to one user, and because this is sticking to the left side, we will also add some padding on left and right. Right is not required, but that's okay. Yeah, quickly review this preview, and we can see users details being shown in each of the row. Right, now technically speaking, we can say that this is one column, this is one column, this is one column, this is one column. Okay, but in terms of repeating group, in terms of list of items, right, we are just having one column here because this entire thing belongs to one record. Is this clear? Are you getting it? This entire thing belongs to one record, right? So we can call it as two columns or three columns if we have multiple records being shown in the same row. Okay. Like if we go to Airbnb, right? This is also a property. This is also a property. This is also a property. So in one row, we have three properties being shown. And that's when we can mention as multi-column. Okay. In Airbnb, for this particular screen size, which is 1024 pixels size, irrespective of whatever is the height of the screen, right? We can see three records or three items in one row. Like this, considering this as our understanding, now tell me, how many columns do we have in Gmail? How many columns do we have in Gmail? Now, for those of you who have answered like 3, 4, and then somebody mentioned like primary, social, and updates, right? Those are tabs, different tabs. But once you are in a particular tab, okay, let's say primary, list of emails being shown. Okay, in that, do we have one column or do we have multiple columns in Gmail? Right, one. If you go to Amazon, is it one column or multiple columns? On a desktop view, let's go with desktop, because generally on mobile screens it will be just one. Okay, on a desktop screen, Amazon, can you see one item every row or multiple? Amazon, open Amazon. How many items? Is it one, multiple? Multiple, right? Airbnb we already saw, right? If it's a larger screen, then we can have multiple uh, items being shown. Okay. If we go to LinkedIn, posts, is it one column or multiple columns? LinkedIn, is it one column or multiple columns? Come on, everybody. LinkedIn, one column. Instagram, don't think I'm logged in on Instagram here. Can I see something? No. Okay. But Instagram you can think of, right? So did you understand the concept of repeating group? Right? You can think of Reddit, you can think of Quora, you can think of any platform, right? You see list of things being shown. So from now on, whenever you're using apps, right, start thinking, what is this? It's a repeating group, right? When you see list of things, think, oh, this is a repeating group. This is a repeating group of how many columns, right? Is it just one column, or multiple columns? How many columns have been added? Okay. Does it, what I say, respond well when you change the screen size? Right? Start looking for all those things. Experiment with apps that you have been using, right? You'll be able to learn better. Yeah. So we not only saw the repeating group usage for single column, that is each row is new record, but we also saw card layout, right? What we saw in this case, the admin page was a card layout. So this was a card layout, right? Just to make it look nicer, we can just quickly go to the group and add the background, right? So flat color, EV. We can add some padding, 10, 10, 10, and 10. We can also add some roundness of 20. And we can add some margins, okay, because it is sticking to each other. So we can add, let's say, 5 here, 5 here. And because it will go to the next row, okay, we can also add 5 and 5 top and bottom. Let's quickly check if this is looking like cards. Yes. So if we go to Amazon and if we search for any particular item, let's say here, right, you can see watch image being shown, name being shown, and some more details being shown. What is this layout, everyone? This particular card layout, whatever we can see, what is this layout? Is it column or is it row? Each cell in this repeating group, is it column or row? Is it column or is it row? Consider this one cell that we can see here, right, where image is being shown, and then we have text being shown, then we have reviews being shown, then we have like how many people bought it in the last month, the price, the delivery date, and so on and so forth. Is it column or row? Most of you have got it right, which is column, right? Items being, or rather, elements being added one below the other. Okay, it is in one column. Awesome. So what we are covering is actually getting here, right? So that's nice. Thank you, everyone. So now let's try to understand how do we add the header to a table, right? So if we go to user list, because this is in tabular form, right? Each row belongs to one user. Let's understand how do we add header to the table. And with that, we can close off for today. Okay. So the way we add the header is we have this group user, right? Which is the entire group. I'll just copy this. I'll paste this, right? So every row has two groups now. One is group user, right? And the other one will be group header. Okay. And this need not be of any user because here this is just a header. And we'll go inside. I mean, we don't need an image here. So I'm just going to clear this off, right? We'll keep the element. I'll tell you why. We'll go to this particular text. And here we will put as full name. We'll go to this particular element. We'll make this as email. We'll go to this element and we will make it as registered date. Okay, those are the three columns that we were displaying. By the way, we can remove this particular thing image from here, and we can, sorry, we can add this as profile image. Profile. Okay, let's quickly check how does this look like when we preview this. Right? So you can see that profile pic, full name, email, registered date, and this is coming on every row, right? Because it's a repeating group. So whatever you add in the first cell, right, it will keep repeating all throughout the table. So what we will do is group header, go to layout, check this box, which is this element is visible on page load, uncheck this, go to conditional, define another condition, and the condition is current cells index is 1, then this element is visible. Okay, so what we are telling is if the current cells index, that is if it is on the first cell, only then display this. Okay, so with that, what will happen is this will be displayed only on the first row and it will not display on the following rows. But what about the space? Like this space, it's not being displayed, but it is taking that much space in every row, right? And for that, if you go to layout, okay, we have just hidden it. We are not showing it in every row, but collapse when hidden. If you check this box, then what will happen is whatever space it was taking in every row, that will be collapsed, right? So collapse when hidden, when you check that, what it does is wherever it needs to be shown, it will show. Wherever it is not being shown, right, there it will collapse. It will not take any space. Okay, that way you can have your own header in the repeating row. But now this is not looking nice because we have full name here, we have email here, right? It's not coming in one row. It's not looking like tabular form. Okay, and for us to be able to make this as a tabular thing, profile pic, right? We know that this profile pic, the text requires certain width. Okay, so let's try with 75. Okay, and make it as fixed width. You can see that it is not fitting in well in one line. Make this as 100. Okay, 100 is too much, right? You can see so much space here. Let's make it as 85. 85 is good enough. We can also make it as 80. Good enough, right? So make it as fixed width, okay, with 80. Now this particular image, right, which is of just 35, needs to be made with equal width as the header. And so we can add a margin of, let's say, 20 and 20, which will make it a 75, right? And this is 80. So let's make this as 85. That way we can add 25 and 25. Okay, overall becoming 85. So now this and this are aligned, and you can see full name and this name is aligned, but we'll have to give a width, right? We can make this as 250 fixed width. You have to make this also as 250 with fixed width, right? That way, each of this element is taking equal space, thereby making tabular in nature, right? So if you go to spreadsheet, and let's say you have here profile pic, right? Here you have name, here you have email, and here you have the registered date. So the column width remains the same for every record. You are not having here this as, let's say, 250, here you have 350 or something like that, right? The entire column is of the same width, and that's precisely what we are trying to achieve here, right? So email will be slightly bigger than the name, right? So we can make this as 300, make it as fixed. Likewise, we'll go here, we'll make this as 300, make it as fixed. Okay, automatically this is aligned. This is aligned. This is aligned. Let's go and check if we have achieved tabular form. Have we achieved tabular form? Is it looking nice? This is how we can add a repeating group in tabular form. Is this clear, everyone? So now anymore, if you see list of things, you already know how that is built, right? Awesome. So that's all we had for today, and we can open up for Q&A. Our team will share the link in the chat box, right? So that you can join the Zoom link if you want to unmute and speak, or if you want to ask the question here, you can put it in the chat box. So let me just put the link. Okay. I put the link in the chat. You can join in there. I'll also join in.
Recording in progress.
And I'll also allow people to unmute. Awesome. Do you have any questions? Please feel free to put it in the chat box or join the Zoom and you can unmute and ask there. Getting a little confused in row and column. Can you please clarify it? So I believe it's Anirban. So what exactly are you confused with row and column? Right. So it's pretty simple. If think about a spreadsheet, right? What is column? These are columns, right? So if we have here person 1, person 2, person 3, then when person 1, person 2, and person 3 is added one below the other, right? That is called a column. Okay. Wherein if you have things added one besides the other, let's say person 1 is here. Okay, let me add a new sheet because it might be a bit confusing here, right? So let's say we have added person 1 here, person 2 here, and person 3 here. Now this is called a row, right? So when elements are added one below the other, okay, that layout is called column. When elements are added one besides the other, that layout is called row. Is this clear? Oh, you can't hear me? Everybody can hear me loud and clear? Please type out LNC in the chat box. Okay, cool. Thank you for that confirmation, Smita. Any other questions, anybody, in respect to choosing the templates? Which templates, Anirban? If you could just clarify, it will be better for me to answer. Any other questions from anybody? Yeah, I think it might be on your side. Just check if you can rejoin or check your audio once. Any questions from anyone? Or was it so clear that all of your questions were already answered in the session that we did? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, those of you who think everything is clear, uh, of course, you will have to do a lot of practice, right? And that I keep saying every now and then. But if you have understood the concept, right? If you have gotten how do we create list of things, just single column or multi columns, okay, then put +1 in the chat box. So we know that you have understood the concept and now you're ready to practice. Yes, Mita, I completely understand, right? You will have to do a practice. You will have to do a lot of practice, right? And that's when you will start getting like, oh, Ritesh had done this, right? I mean, I saw him doing. So how did he do it? Okay, that's when questions arise. I know that, right? And that's why I keep telling practice, 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 because unless and until you practice, right, you will not get questions. And unless and until you do not get questions, you will not understand how to use this functionality or how to build these functionalities. Yeah. So please do practice. If there are no questions, that's completely fine. That's completely understandable, right? And more than happy to answer questions whenever it comes. Please put it in the community, and if nobody else is able to answer, I'll definitely answer them. Plus, we have Q&A sessions happening in between, right? I think next week we have a Q&A session. Before that, we anyways have a Bubble Roundtable, which is happening on Saturday from 7 to 9, right? So every session from now on will take one step further, right? You can already see, right? The first session was very, very simple, right? Second session, we covered grouping, we covered responsiveness, right? Row layout, column layout, align to parent, min width, max width, fit width to content, right? Min height, max height, fit height to content. Okay, we also did what is it? Padding. We did margins. Okay, and today we saw repeating groups of different types, right? Where you can have fixed number of columns, you can have fixed number of rows. You can make both of this dynamic by adding what is the minimum height of row, what is the minimum width of column, right? How do you make it responsive? So every session we are taking one step further, right? So if you do not practice now, right? Fourth, fifth, sixth session, you'll be like, what's happening here? What did we join for? Right? So please do practice. Dedicate 4 to 6 hours every week so that you can practice whatever is being covered. And as promised at the beginning of our cohort, right? I will ensure that those of you who practice will be able to build something real, okay, by the time we close this cohort. Yeah, I see that few of you are already doing practicing, right? Already showing up whatever you have been doing. I would ask every single person, whoever is joining this course, right? Whoever is joining the sessions to practice and show it. Share it in the community, share it on social platforms so that you can inspire others. Great, then if there are no more questions, I'll just wait for a couple of minutes. If anybody wants to join Zoom or anybody wants to ask their questions on the chat here, I'm happy to answer them. If not, then we will wind up in couple of minutes. Any questions, anybody? Okay. I would assume that there are no more questions from anyone for the moment. I know that once you practice, you will get a lot of questions, and we are here to answer those questions. We are here to help you, right? The community is here to help you. But do practice, come up with questions, and let's learn together, build together, and grow together. Thank you, everyone. See you in our next session, which is happening on Thursday, right? Which is on 6th at the same time, 7 to 9. Thank you all.